welcome back to the Cheltenham Countdown channel here on YouTube. And Christmas has arrived. There is a Boxing Day bonanza of racing in store for us on the 26th of December this year, guys. Stacks of racing. It's a jam-packed day of racing from the UK and Ireland this year. 10 jumps meetings. 10 jumps meetings in the UK and Ireland to get our teeth stuck into on St Stephen's Day or Boxing Day, whether you're from the UK or Ireland, of course. And I'm here today to preview all the grade ones, including the King George at Kempton, obviously the Formby Novices hurdle at Aintree, and obviously a couple of grade ones at Leopardstown. But what I'll do as well, I'm going to preview a couple of races from each card, from each race meeting on the show today. I won't preview every race, otherwise we'll be here till next Christmas, of course, because it's a marathon of a race day on Boxing Day this year. The best bets, as you know, will come at the end of the video, at the end of the episode. So if you do want to skip forward to that part of the show, I'll timestamp it underneath the video so you can just skip forward. But if you do want to listen to some of my reasoning, some of my previews, and some of my tips along the way, feel free to watch the whole episode. Like I said, I won't keep you too long. Obviously, you all have your Christmases to get around. So I will do as best I can to whiz through each race meeting, each race card, with a couple of races involved. So, like I said, I'll kick things off with the grade ones first at Kempton, Aintree and Leopardstown before moving on then to each card and sort of a couple of races from each race meeting, and I'll do it as quick as I can. So, like I said, like the video if you do enjoy the episode, share if you wish, as you always do, and subscribe to the channel to get every episode notified from the Cheltenham Countdown this season. So I better get stuck into it now, guys, as the Boxing Day bonanza of racing is just days away. So I'll start off with the grade ones in total on Kempton on Boxing Day this year, before moving on to some other races and other meetings on the day. Like I said, all the grade ones will be previewed on the channel today, guys. Then I'll mention the races that I've backed a horse in, with 2 races per meeting sort of discussed along the way. So every meeting will have at least 2 races where I'll discuss a horse who I backed in that specific card. So we kick things off with the 120 at Kempton on Boxing Day, the Grade 1 Kauto Star Novices Chase in memory of Nigel Clark this year. Grade 1, of course, for novices around 3 miles at Kempton. And the market is as follows, with Kitspool for Paul Town and Willie Mullins at 15-8, Wendigo 5-2, Salva 11-4, Blue King Duru 10-1, Crest of Fortune 22-1, and Thomas Moore outside at 25-1. Briefly now, I'll just briefly summarise the races I always do. The top 3 from the select hurdle at Sandown back in April reappear here with Blue King Duru, Salva and Kitspool taking each other on. You also have Wendigo, like I said, for James Snowden in there among the 6 runners declared. The top 4 in the market have all won a chase start already this season, and it is tight at the top of the betting, like I said. The ground is going to play fair, I think, on Friday. I think we're going to have decent ground conditions on Boxing Day, with it currently being described as good to soft. I don't know what the weather forecast is before Boxing Day, mind you, so we'll wait and see we'll wait and see on Christmas Day and then Boxing Day morning to see what kind of conditions we're going to expect on Boxing Day. But I reckon Salva will be happy on any ground personally. He's already won on good to soft conditions this season over fences, and has run well on softer and also better ground before in his career too. Especially at Kempton, the fences do come up quickly and are constantly at you around the track. So you need a horse, really need a horse that can maintain his jumping and can definitely stay the 3 miles over the tight course. It's a very tight, twisty course, so you need a horse that can stay and jump well in the mean. I will be, like I said, Salva is the only horse in this market that has won over fences across the trip and distance this season. So I think the solid choice will be siding with him. It won't be as I won't be as confident or one of my main big selections on Boxing Day. I think like I said, the fact we know he stays, the distance will be important, and lean me deciding with him over the others. Wendigo has been outlined for this race since winning at Newbury in the John Frankham last time. He does jump well. He does jump really well. He'd have a shot, but I just think he's a tad bit more slower and could be a horse for longer trips outlined this season. I'm not certain Kitspool will relish the trip though. That's one doubt I have with the favourite. He seems slightly too quick for me and may not stay all that well. That's just my opinion. And Blue King Drew is just in and out with his jumping, so I can't really trust him with my money. If this was over hurdles, I would be siding with Blue King Drew. I'd be all over him. But it's not. It's over the larger obstacles, therefore I'm not inclined to back him. So I probably did a bit of a process of elimination there in terms of the top four in the market with Kitzbühel, Wendigo, Salva, and Blue King Drew. I've crossed off Kitzbühel based on the fact I don't think he'll stay. I think Wendigo needs a longer trip, and Blue King Drew is just, like I said, his jumping isn't very consistent. So with all that in mind, I'm going to side with Salva at a roughly 3-1, 11-4 price. Not one of my main selections, but it's going to be Salva for me here in the Kauto Star Novices Chase to kick things off the Grade 1 day at Kempton. 155 at Kempton is another Grade 1, and it's the Ladbrokes Christmas Hurdle this time. You have Segino, the returning Segino, at 4-7 odds on, followed by Golden Ace, the champion hurdle heroine, at 4-1. Celtic Dino is 7-1. Rubo 20-1, Triple E Flyer 40-1, and the outsider of the field is given to me OJ at 50-1. So again, 6 runners declared here, and Segino is back from 364 days off the track since winning the Wayward Lad at this course last season. He's odds on and definitely deserves to be. I won't have a bet in this race though, but I'm sure he'll be back to his best. Otherwise, Nicky Henderson wouldn't have pitched him in here. It won't be easy at all for him though, as you have current champion hurdle winner, like I said, Golden Ace in the race as well as champion hurdle winner Celtic Dino and Kempton regular Rubo amongst the runners. They're all very good horses, as we know, but if Segino is anywhere near his best following his major setback, then he'll take the world of beating. Golden Ace is primed for the race after winning the Fighting Fifth, and you cannot write her off anymore after what's happened before. But I just can't see this race falling apart, unfortunately for her. She's a big contender. I even think Caldino will outrun his odds, and even Rubo to an extent as well. So it's going to be tough for the mare, in my opinion, this time around. But my verdict, I'm probably not a tip because I'm not going to back Segino, but I think Segino will win, followed in second by Rubo. I think he'll come second for Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls. He's won at Kempton roughly 3 or 4 times over hurdles in his career. He's a very good hurdler at Kempton. He's used to the track, used to the circuit, to the tight, twisty circuit. And I think he'll follow Segino home in the Ladbrokes Christmas Hurdle. At 2:30 on Boxing Day, it's all about one race. The King George, the 6th Chase, of course. And what a renewal it is, with 8 horses going to post, including the John Durkan First 2, Gaelic Warrior and Factor File, Django By, the Arkle winner, the Jukebox Man, last year's Kauto Star Novice Chase winner, Jello is there, and the top 2 from last year's King George also all run. What a race, what a King George we have in store on Boxing Day. It's set up to be a fantastic race, and I have already backed Gaelic Warrior for the race. I've already backed him. As I mentioned to you prior to the John Durkan last month, at a right-handed track, even at 3 miles, and the way I think he'd be the way I think he'd be ridden, I think it's made for him. I think Gaelic Warrior and Kempton is made for each other. He is, in my opinion, the most talented horse in the race. And like I said, the way I think he'll be ridden by Paul Townend will be towards, I think he'll be restrained a bit towards middle of the pack or held up. Everyone seems to think he'll be up with the pace, with the early pace alongside Ile Francais, but I don't. I don't think he'll be up with them so early. Reason being, Ile Francais will bomb out in front, as we know. He'll do one thing and one thing only. He'll go out in front. He's got Harry Cobden on his back this year, guys, anyway, so that's maybe a bit of a difference there, but Ile Francais will probably end up making the running. Gaelic Warrior will be held up, like I said. Otherwise, he'll exert far too much energy early on and may blow his chance come the end of the race. I think Paul Townend will keep him back somewhat in the early stages on the first lap before moving closer on the second circuit and ultimately coming around the bend in front of the last 3 fences and outstaying his rivals. He won't leave it as late as what he did on Banbridge last year, but he surely can't bomb off like he did in the John Durkan. I'm almost certain of it. He can't go off like the Clappers like he did in the John Durkan with Gaelic Warrior because he'll just blow his chance, I think. So runner by runner now, I'm going to go through majority of the runs, what I think each horse has and their chances. Factorfile, first of all, he makes this race also very intriguing, as does Jungle Boy and the Jukebox Man. Factorfile is a quality jumper and a good travelling horse over 2 mile 4. But over 3 miles, I'm worried about him in the tussle after this tough race last time out, losing out to Gaelic Warrior. He should have won that race at Punchstone, went upside as his opponent, but he still lost. And that leaves me thinking he doesn't like a fight towards the end of a grueling race, and that's what he's going to get you. He's going to have a grueling race. I don't think Factorfile, come the end of a long race, is up to the task. That's just my opinion. He's a brilliant horse over 2.5, but this is a 3 mile contest, and I just think he'll be outstayed. Jungle Boy and the Jukebox Man are creditable horses as well, but they haven't come up against a horse like Gaelic Warrior before in their lives, and they just won't outstay him. They will not outstay him at all. If you are looking for an each-way place, with 3 places, of course, with the 8 runners in the race, maybe it's a shout. I did mention earlier to back last year's second-placed horse, Il Francais. I think he's a decent each-way shot in this race, guys. He loves Kempton, as we know. He'll go off mad in front, and this time he has Harry Cobden on board, which is a massive bonus. He jumps impeccably well, even from the front, and may just hold up in second place behind Gaelic Warrior come the end. I think literally, I do think it's going to be between them two come the end, like he was with Bambridge last season. Bambridge just jump over the last fence of Kempton and just touch off Il Francais. It won't be, I don't think it'll be this similar this year, guys. The way the race will be ridden, in my opinion. So, as I've said, that's going to be my selection in the big one on Boxing Day. It is Gaelic Warrior in the King George. He's roughly 3-1 at the moment. I think that's a decent price for him at the moment. He probably will just end up going shorter. I can't see... I don't know, in my opinion, how Jungle Boy is favourite for the race. He is currently a 5-2 price, 11-4. But I think on the day, you will either have Factorfile or Gaelic Warrior as the market leader. Jungle Boy will have drifted. So I think if you do want to back Gaelic Warrior 3-1, might as well get stuck into him now. He is my idea of the King George winner, and I've been on him since he won the John Durkan last month. The Grade 1 Formby Novices hurdle at Aintree. We're moving on to Aintree now, and the Supreme is next, of course, and the Supreme Novices hurdle anti-post favourite, My Daddy Paddy, headlines the race. He's a very short price at the moment, odds on for it, in fact. But based on what he's done already and achieved, I'm siding against him. I'm going to side against My Daddy Paddy. I have to go with one of my horses to follow for the season in Idaho Sun. And he does hold a strong chance, I feel. He's only suffered 1 defeat in his career so far. That was in the Champion Bumper at Cheltenham. Since then, he's won both his hurdle starts. I think he's a very decent animal, I think. He likes to be up prominently at the start, and there may be a lot of horses who want to be up there early with a pace, which may suit the front runners on the day. And also, with all that in mind, that may hinder the favourite My Daddy Paddy, as he's not one of them. He's not one of them that likes to race prominently. He's one of them that likes to race towards the rear. He's usually held up, and that could prove difficult for him to pass a handful of horses around Aintree come the final furlongs. You've got Starmount, Diamond Hunter, Storming George, all like to lead, so the pace could be frenetic and quick. And I'm a firm believer it'll suit better to be handy rather than far back, especially at Aintree. So Idaho Sun will be my pick at a general 92 price. I think he's drifted to 5-1 at the moment, so it's not a bad price if you want to get stuck in against the favourite My Daddy Paddy. But like I said, I had Idaho Sun as my horse to follow at the beginning of the season. I'm definitely siding with him. He's won at Fontwell and Bangor on D so far this season, and hopefully can maintain his winning streak. So there the UK Grade 1 races ticked off now on the Cheltenham Countdown for Boxing Day. I've done sort of the preview for the Grade 1s at Kempton and Aintree. There's a couple of races at Aintree again, which I'll take a look at next, starting with the 140, and there's a key runner in here I quite like Supremely West for Harry and Dan Skelton here. It's a handicap hurdle of 2.5 miles, and I think dropping the horse back from 3 miles and obviously 2 miles 7 where he ran last time out will be far better for him. Just don't think he stays too well over longer trips anymore since going up in the ratings. So on a flatter track, over the intermediate distance is going to be much more up his street. I reckon a good run and hopefully a win will allow him a chance to be looked at for a Coral Cup tilt, maybe at the festival in March. He has already qualified for a Pertemps final, of course, at the moment. But again, that's over 3 miles. at Cheltenham, which I don't think he will like that much. But I hope he'll run well. He's quite a big price at the moment for the 140 Aintree. He's about 16 to 1, 14 to 1. So he's a good each way value if you want to do an each way single or stick him in an accumulator or doubles or anything like that. But Supremely West, 140 at Aintree, key runner who I will be backing on the day. Then the 250 at Aintree has a Novices handicap chase and a 4-runner race. But a good set of 4 horses as well go to post, including another horse to follow of mine. Juby Ball for Evan Williams is the horse in question. I think he sets a good standard here, and off 1-2-9 should be winning this. He's only lost once in his career, which was at the expense of 6 Mile Bridge. He's obviously a decent horse at the moment. The other horses in the race are Chuggy, who runs for the Skeltons. Royce is in there for Ben Pauling, and also a Donald McCain horse runs as well. But I think Juby Ball is the best of these 4, and on his first handicap start over fences, he's a good thing. Graded races from Leopardstown in Ireland on Boxing Day, also Stephen's Day, of course, out there now to touch on, and there's a grade 2 at 110, which is the juvenile hurdle. I don't have a tip in here, of course, but I will keep an eye on a couple of young horses for later in the campaign, including a JP McManus horse called Narciso Has, trained by Willie Mullins, who could be smart. He finished second behind Monge 2 in a grade 3 at Ferry House last time out. So that could be a pointer for him to run well at Christmas. Also, another horse potentially for bigger races in the spring could be a horse called Ben Hur for Noel Mead. I'll be watching him on the day. He won a Ferry House in his previous start as well. So there's a grade 2 juvenile hurdle, like I said. 2 runners in the race I'll be keeping a look at. Narciso Has and a horse called Ben Hur. They're the 2 I think that will run well on the day. And then there's a grade 1 at 220 on the same card. There's grade 1, 2 mile, 1 fill on Racing Post, Novice Chase, headed up by Romeo Coolio. You also have Salvatore Mundi in there and July Flower as well. Again, not a tip, but I want to see Romeo Coolio jump again as well as he did in the Drinmo. If he does win this, he's a major Arkle contender, as this could be his last race before the festival this season. He did have a break after Christmas last year, leading into March, so I'm sure that is the plan again. Salvatore Mundi is on a bit of a retrieval mission, but he did beat Romeo Coolio, of course, at Aintree over hurdles last season. And July Flower as well, the mare, she's a fantastic jumper, but this is another step up for her. Whoever wins this race will obviously enhance their credentials for the Arkle at Cheltenham, but I think it'll probably be Romeo Coolio, but not a bet. It won't be a bet for me. In the grade 1, 2 mile, Racing Post, Novice Chase at 220, at Leopardstown. Okay, moving on to the each remaining race meeting on Boxing Day from the UK and Ireland now. I'm just going to have 2 races in mind for each race meeting that I'll discuss with potentially a tip along the way and a horse I quite like on that card. And obviously, there are a couple of best bets within these tips as well, so I'll leave that till the end of the video for my best bets, but I'll mention every single tip I have backed for each horse I have backed in each of the remaining race meetings I'm about to discuss. We'll kick things off at Wetherby 135, which is a good race in the Roland Merrick. 5 runners go to post, of course. I haven't got a tip in this race, but it is a very, very good select field, headed by Confusion for Callum Bewley takes straight at 5-4 for Joel Parkinson and Sue Smith. I'm not sure. I wouldn't want to side with him based on the fact I think he's coming into this. He's coming into this race, of course, in distance form, which is good. I just think there's a few more sort of experienced horses in this race. I think there's some hardy horses. He may go on and win, but I'd let him win at that price of 5-4. Marble Sands is there 7-2. Nappers Hill 9-2. Our Power 7-1. And Butch is 10-1. I haven't got a selection, like I said, there's no tip, but I just don't. I don't know who to side with against Confusion. I may have someone on the day, perhaps, but for now, I'm putting Confusion to one side. I may have a tip, but not for the time being. I'm not having anyone in the Royal Merrick. Moving on then to the 245 at Wetherby, and here is the tip. There is a selection in this race at the 245. Big City Roller in the handicap chase. He goes very well fresh. Been off since February when bolting up at Bangor. He's only had 3 starts under rules. Very unexposed as a 7-year-old. one of my best fancies of the whole on the whole day. Really, he's a good bet at 5-1. Lily Pinch and rides for Charlie Longsdon. Get stuck in. That's big city roller in the 2:45 at Wetherby on Boxing Day. I think he'll win. He's 5-1 currently, which is a good price. Back him. I'm sure he'll go and deliver. 2 races from Wincanton now. The first at 2:03, and I like Jupiter Allen at 5-1 in the 3 mile 1 furlong handicap chase. He's been dropped a pound lower, £1 lower than when running well, I should say, at Exeter last month. He stays the trip on good as soft ground at Wincanton, and I think you'll like it. That's Jupiter Allen. He's a very consistent animal. Obviously, pulled up recently and then finished second at Exeter, which is a decent level of form for this encounter. So 0-1-2-5, he shouldn't be far away. And then at 3:13 in a Potemps qualifier, I like Classic King again at 5-1. I'd say it's been the plan since finishing 4th behind French Ship at Cheltenham in October for him for this race. I don't see an issue with his stamina, and hopefully he can win to guarantee himself a place at Cheltenham in March in the Potemps final. So the 2-0 Wincanton, one at 2:03 is Jupiter Allen, 5-1 in the 3 mile 1 furlong handicap chase. And then at 3:13, Classic King, 5-1 in the Potemps qualifier. They're the 2 I've backed at Wincanton. 2 at Market Rasen now, and the 12:40, I like 4 Springs at 11-8. Already won a novice hurdle in this class before at Hereford last month. I think he could double up for Bo Morgan and Ben Pauling. He's also won a point-to-point, a type of selection you put in your accas. He's not a vintage price at 11-8, but I'm sure he'll do for the day and hopefully go in and get a winning start to us on the day from Market Rasen. And then at 2:57 in the Lincolnshire National Handicap Chase, I'm on Sound and Fury at 10-1 off top weight here. A big ask, yes, but I think the combo of Bo Morgan, I should say, claiming the £5 off, and Ben Pauling will get a double. Obviously, I hope they would have won with 4 Springs earlier on the card. Hopefully, they can win with Sound and Fury on this race. He definitely stays. We won a good race at Carlisle in November. Before running well at Cheltenham previously. The ground isn't deep for him and he should be there or thereabouts. So that's Sound and Fury at 10-1, backed in each way, of course, in the Lincolnshire National Handicap Chase. Quickly touching on Fontwell on Boxing Day as well. The first one from there is at 1:07, which I like as the first of the 2. Fortune Timmy at 6-5. Not, again, very small prices, but I just think they're going to win. They're the type of selection you just boost your accas up, boost your doubles and trebles up, and hopefully they can land. And the other horse at Fontwell at 2:17 is Grand Conqueror at 5-6. Another very short price horse. But like I said, these 2 horses are I just want you to just boost your accas up if that's the way you play. They're in both very small field of runners, so they should go in. The first Fortune Timmy, like I said, 6-5 is in a novice hurdle, and Grand Conqueror is in an 0-105 novices handicap hurdle. He should take the beating, even being penalised from his last race. So they're the 2 from Fontwell. Fortune Timmy 1:07 and Grand Conqueror 2:17. 2 from Sedgefield, the last UK meeting we're going to touch on, of course, and the first is at 12:20 in a novices hurdle, class 4. I'm all over Dalston lad here, but he is odds on, sadly. So again, a price which you're just going to have to top up your accas with, I'm afraid. 8-11 he is at the moment. Harry Atkins takes £7 off him for Dan Skelton. Should just go and win. He ran well in bumpers last season and ran the champion bumper, of course, being Bambino Fever. But I think he'll take the beating here. He is still a maiden over hurdles, but I think he'll take his maiden tag here. And then at 12:50, Bohemian Antioch, not odds on at 2-1 though. I think I'm siding with him over the favourite Country Park. I just think he's more potentially got a bit of more better progression over, especially this track at Sedgefield. It is undulating at Sedgefield. Maybe he's more suited to this track rather than Country Park. So the 2 at Sedgefield, like I said, 12:20, Dalston Lad 8-11, and 12:50 is Bohemian Antioch at 2-1. They're the 2 at Sedgefield. To Limerick, of course, and there's 2 races out there, like I said, I'm going to touch on. The 1:33 is the Defender Novice Hurdler Grade 2 over 2 mile 7, and I like the big clubman for Paul Nolan and Cornerstone Walsh, the market leader again at the moment. I think his second being Calypso Chance of late wasn't a bad little run for him. should step on from that, build on from that run, from that race, and develop into a better stayer as well. So I'm going to side with him in the Grade 2 Novice Hurdle. And then there's a mare's handicap hurdle at 208 the following race. I just like Cousin Kate. I think she's got a winner off this mark, and hopefully she can land the spoils at 11-4. They're the two at Limerick, the Big Clubman and Cousin Kate. The last meeting to take a look at on St Stephen's Day or Boxing Day again, as I said, is in Down Royal in Ireland. 12-15 to start off with Los Blanco in the 12-15 maiden hurdle over 2 mile one. I think hopefully he'll go win against Champagne Jury. He's 13-8. Hopefully he'll go win for Robco. I think he's still a maiden, as we know, his maiden hurdle, so hopefully he can shed his maiden tag here. And then at 2:33, there's a betting Hunter's Chase over 3 miles, and I'm all over It's on the Line here. At 9-4 for Derek O'Connor and Emmett Mullins. He's ran at this meeting, at this track, in this race for the last 2 years. Won once, second the other. Hopefully he can win again this time out. He's probably one of the best Hunter Chases, as we know. He still hasn't had this Hunter Chase win at the festival in Cheltenham, but hopefully he can win a Down Royal this time out, leading up to the festival in March. So they're the two at Down Royal. Los Blanco at 12:15, and at 2:33 It's on the line. Okay, best bets time now. Maybe this is the time of the video you've actually all been waiting for. Hopefully you're still watching it by now. I've got 4 best bets on Boxing Day, just the 4. And we'll kick things off with, we'll go to Wetherby, of course, at 2:45. I mentioned him earlier. I'm all over Big City Roller at 9-2. Think he'll go and win that race. And for Lily Pinchin and Chai Longsdon, they should deliver, I think, at 2:45 at Wetherby on Boxing Day. Big City Roller, 9-2. Get on that. And there's a race at Wincanton at 3:13, the Thames final, of course. Classic King, 5-1. I think he's made for this race after finishing 4th playing Friendship at Cheltenham in October. That form doesn't read too badly. And I think he's been set out for this race since finishing at Newbury last time out, and obviously at Cheltenham in October. Then a market Rasen in the National Handicap Chase, the Lincolnshire National Handicap Chase. I like Sound and Fury at a juicier price of 10-1. He's off top weight, but does claim, Bo Morgan does claim £5 off the horse as well. So that's a valuable £5 for Sound and Fury. And we'll end the show with the King George VI Chase, a best bet. I'm all over Gaelic Warrior. He's the most talented horse in the race. I think this way around, like I said at the John Durkin preview last month, he's almost unbeatable this way around, guys. I think he'll win, and Paul Tony will double up in the King George like he did last year. So they're the 4: Big City Roller, Classic King, Sound and Fury, and Gaelic Warrior in the King George VI Chase at Kempton. Stick them in a lucky 15, anything you want to do. Hopefully they land a lot of luck for you on Boxing Day this year. One final thing, guys. I just want to say a massive thank you to you all for all the support I've had recently. And I'm wishing you all a very, very happy Christmas with your families and friends. If you're watching this on Christmas Eve, obviously tomorrow, I wish you all have a very happy, Merry Christmas tomorrow. An even better Boxing Day as well with all the racing that's going ahead. But yeah, thanks for all the support recently, guys. It's been much, much appreciated. I've hit the 200 subscriber mark, which doesn't sound very big at all, but they keep on rolling, keep on going up, which is always a bonus. So thank you so much for all the subscribers out there that watch my videos and give me all the support. It means the world to me. So thank you very much. Don't forget to like the video if you have enjoyed the whole show. I've tried putting it all into a little nutshell with all the race meetings that's going on. So as quick as I can, I've rattled through as quick as I can throughout the whole race meetings across Boxing Day in the UK and Ireland. Share the video if you want to. Comment below your best bet for the Boxing Day racing. I'll pin it in the comments so you can just see and reply to it whenever you watch this video. Comment your best bet from all the meetings across the UK and Ireland on Boxing Day this year. And subscribe to the channel to increase my 200s further up. And yeah, that's it. Have a very happy Christmas from me at the Cheltenham Countdown. I wish you the best. Thanks for watching.